Hello there. I'm Scotty. You're not. Welcome to the beginning of birth month 2025. Yes, yes. Did you know I was born in a crossfire hurricane? But it's all right now. In fact, it's a guess. We're talking about Jumpin' Jack Flash from 1986. Yes, technically, this doesn't follow my rules. I've said before that I'm doing movies from the year I was born all the way to 2006. There's been quite a few uh, this month, quite a few movies that push that line. But as long as it's before June of 2006, it's a fine. So yeah, but this came out in 1986, and the reason why I'm including this, I thought this was 90s, but it's not. It's 1986. But I grew up watching this, right? I grew up watching this. I think I've done Back to the Future during this month. That was 85. So shut up. But as long as I grew up watching it, it could be before the 1987. In fact, I've thought about including Jailhouse Rock because we had that on a VHS I watched a couple times as a kid. This was another one I watched a couple times as a kid, and after watching this, I'm thinking, the hell was my grandma thinking? No offense, but this was, I didn't realize till I bought it off eBay for $20, by the way. That's what pushed I was finally at my limit of being pushed to get this. I'm saying, I'm getting this movie because I'm sick of not being able to watch it. I'll definitely pop it in more now, man. This was fun. This was fun. But yeah, and I remember, I know I've at least watched this movie twice because I remember at some point in my childhood asking my grandma if I could watch Jumpin' Jack Flash, and I know I'd already watched it by that point. So yeah, but there's blowjob jokes in here. It's not overtly, like, it's not like a Porky's or anything like that. There's some adult humor, but it's straight laced. If you take those out and a bunch of the F words, it could be a PG-13. There's not much. There's one risque scene where you almost see Whoopi Goldberg's titty, but you don't see anything. I was sitting here going, wait, what? I don't remember that. No, it does never. It just sort of pulls down. The dress pulls down and you get close to the areola, but not really. You know what I mean? But very close. It's almost that they had to make sure. But no. So what the story is here is that Whoopi Goldberg plays Terry Doolittle, who works as a computer programmer at the First National Bank in New York City. One day, she gets a computer message from someone calling himself Jumpin' Jack Flash, who ends up being a British secret agent. And he is stuck in an undisclosed European country, and she needs to help him get out. And she's thrown into this world of spies and espionage and other spies showing up, and yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of recognizable faces in this damn movie. Like, in her workplace alone, you got Carol Kane, John Lovitz, what's his name? I did a video on it earlier last year. Phil Hartman, who were all the part of SNL at this point. Not Carol Kane, but Jeroen Krabbe has a small cameo in this movie. He's on the back of the case, but he has one scene in this movie before he's killed. Yeah. Jim Belushi is an assassin, which threw me off. I'm like, he shows up, and I'm like, I don't like this dude at all. Not that it's played by Jim Belushi. I just did something off, and turns out he's an assassin, and I'm just like, yeah, I know this is a comedy, but that's Jim Belushi. Seriously, Jim Belushi. Sure. And then the reveal at the end of who is playing, because the whole time what they do is that she's typing to Jack, and you hear a voiceover from Jack. I don't think she hears it, but it's so the audience can hear. And the whole time I'm going, I know that voice. Whose voice is that? I know that voice. And when they showed him, I want to kick myself in the ass. I'm like, yes. Yes. There's even a cameo from Miguel A. Nunez Jr. You know, ooh, baby, as a gang member in one scene that I don't know. So apparently, after watching this, I come to realize that only thing I remember about this movie is Whoopi Goldberg on the computer, talking with someone on the computer. That's all I remember. Annie Potts is also in this movie, but she disappears halfway through because she's transferred to somewhere else. I don't know. Her plot line in this. They say they transferred her to protect her, and it's just like, and what's the point of having a character in a movie? But yeah, and so when we start this movie, it's a very stereotypical 80s apartment, like those apartments you see in movies back then. And it's one of those stereotypical things. It's New York. I guess she has a roommate that we don't see. I thought it was going to be Carol Kane, but no. She has this roommate that we never see, and she's yelling about the heat's not on. She's got layers upon layers sleeping in bed, but no. And we see her go to the bank. We see all these colorful characters, and then yeah. So keep in mind when I'm going through this, I barely remembered anything. Barely remembered anything about this movie other than the computer stuff. I didn't even remember it was a spy movie till right at the back of the box. Just yeah. So at one point she's staying there, she's staying late. She gets knock. She's on the computer, she's talking to him, and she starts to realize he's a British spy. So he is stuck in some unnamed European country, needing a way out, and he's trying to get her to contact anyone. She goes to the British consulate, but of course, the dude that's there says he doesn't know what he's talking about. There's no Section C or whatever. Doesn't know what she's talking about, and I'm like, so either he has to lie because it's a spy thing, or this guy's in on something. It's later revealed this guy is KGB, but doesn't have a Russian accent for some reason. He's just a British KGB agent, I guess. Him and this dude. Through this show, this one dude, I'm like, this guy looks like he could be an extra in Die Hard. He does. He's got the blonde hair, comb over thing. Like, was it Carl in that movie? Yeah, like Carl. He looks like a fat Carl. Carl! Weichnen, or whatever he says. I didn't know if that was even... That was probably more Russian-ish. But anyway, so as the movie goes on, Terry gets roped into doing more spy stuff. She has to go to the consulate in disguise as a lounge singer. She looks like Tina Turner, basically. Someone said, hey, we need to disguise her as a lounge singer, and thought, she's black, let's make her look like Tina Turner. She looks just like Tina Turner, and she's like, hey, I am the music person or whatever. I'm the entertainment, and starts singing Rescue Me. But it's obviously she's lip syncing, and I'm like, is that just, was that is, I mean, it's not, it doesn't even sound like Whoopi Goldberg. It's bad. And later it's revealed that it's something she has like attached to her to play it, and it was like, but if she has that ready to play to convince them she's the musical entertainment, where do they think that the instruments are coming from? Annie Potts is also there. She sneaks in and she hacks this because, you know, working at the bank makes you a top range computer hacker. You know, I'm going out of order, but she does meet with Jeroen Krabbe, who is one of the agents, on a frying pan. There's like a note on a frying pan that gives her names of agents. One of them, Harry, ends up dead, and Annie Potts is his wife. And then she disappears from the movie, like I said. And then Jeroen Krabbe shows up only to get shot. And when she tries to tell the cops, they said there's no body, so obviously they hid the body. The cops in this movie, of course, are no help because it's a movie, and cops are no help in movies. And even at one point, when she really needs them, I know she was holding a gun at this point, but they're like she's running from the British dude, this Campbell, Cabin? I don't remember his name. But he's the KGB guy I was talking about. And they put her in a cop car. She's like, okay, I need to go downtown real fast. He's like, no problem. And they throw her in a cop car. He's like, okay, I need to take me downtown. I need to get back to my place. I need to make a message in 45 minutes. And they're like, 45 minutes? That's going to take you that long to book you. Book me? I don't think so. And she like covers the guy's eyes, causes him to go into a car crash. There's supposed to be like a cage on the back of those things, right? I don't know. And she runs off to try to... This is the climax, but... After the whole Jeroen Krabbe thing, Stephen Collins from Seventh Heaven shows up. I'm like, awkward! And he plays this new character named Marty. And I'm like... So I'm sitting watching this. Again, I don't remember anything. And I'm like, huh. This guy shows up after she had that altercation with the guy who claimed to be a secret agent who's now dead. Something's iffy here. And then also, at one point, he shows up at her house after it's been ransacked by someone. Her apartment after it's been ransacked. And I'm like, there's something else going on here. He just, I vouched for you. I said, so I had to look after you. I'm like, he's too Clark Kent. I'm like, he's too much like Clark Kent. So much so that I'm immediately, because there's one point there's this chair that was set for a pregnant lady. And when he sits back in it, he falls over. And they make a joke of that twice, and I'm just going, how did the pregnant lady sit in that chair? If it does that. I don't know. But eventually she begins to connect with Jack, and he promises her a dinner. That's a very important plot point. Well, after the cops, she makes her way back to the place where she starts to kickly clack, and somehow the British dude and the fat Carl are already there. And they're like, don't. Tell him not, never mind, because she sent him extraction information that turns out was fake, and they're going to assassinate him, so she needs to warn him it's fake. And then this is when Stephen Collins decides to show his true side, start shooting stuff up and taking him down, and reveals, and she's able to send a message, thanks to Stephen Collins. Well, no. Thanks to biting the dude in the dick. Yeah. He's got her with both arms. And he's like, send, how does he say it? She's like, send this or something. And she goes, hey. And the reaction they have this guy, it could be, ah. No, his reaction is, ah. Yeah. And he gets taken down. And then she's able to type in. She's able to send that, actually. And then Stephen Collins comes in and reveals that he is some other guy who's a secret agent whose name was also on the frying pan. There's also another agent named Lincoln who shows up. They introduced these agents to not do shit with them. That's one of my issues with this movie, I guess. They introduced Annie Potts, don't do anything. They introduced this African-American gentleman, older gentleman, do nothing with him, really. Other than he warns her. Jeroen Krabbe shows up, gets killed right away. Stephen Collins, god damn it, is the only one that does anything. And I honestly thought the way this was going to end is that she wasn't going to meet Jack. Because she goes to go to the dinner and he stands her up, and then Marty or Stephen Collins, whatever his name is, shows up. He's like, he's not coming. He was held up in England, in London. I'm like, shouldn't he have told her sooner if he's still in London? Because you got to make flight plans to get over here. You know? You think he would have told like a day or two before he's not going to make it. They didn't have cell phones back then. Well, they did, but they were either the one or the big things from Saved by the Bell. No. But we get a pretty good ending. She's back typing at the computer and he pops up. Knock, knock. And she's all pissed and she goes like this and he goes, careful, you break your glasses. And she's like, thank you. Oh, wait a minute. Where are you? And they're like, second desk to the left, but then I think he was talking about her desk now I think about it, because he's on her left. Puts his hand there. And I'm thinking, okay, it's going to be a gag. We don't see his face, right? Like Charlie from Charlie's Angels. Because it looks like they're not going to do that. And then she stands up and you see his face. And it's Jonathan Pryce. And I went, of course, that's the voice. I knew the voice. It's Jonathan Pryce with hair. Which is throws me off. You know. Jonathan Pryce with hair. I mean, he's losing it. You know, it's going. But again, no. You think secret agent? Do you really think Jonathan Pryce? Could be. British secret agent, maybe. At one point, I'm like, Rowan Atkinson. No. I mean, there was a secret agent there, but no, it's not. His voice is deeper than Rowan Atkinson. He's a little bit like this, a little bit, you know. I don't know what that laugh was, but this is a little bit more like Atkinson, like this. Jonathan Pryce is a little deeper like this. Of course, I'm not doing the proper voice, but yeah, it's a happy ending. I like how she goes to leave, and Carol Kane's like, "Is that Jack?" Blab it out. They're like, "Hey, it's it." Even her boss. I think it's implied she's gonna be the new boss. Like maybe the secret agents in the government did something to give her a promotion or something. But yeah, this was a nice watch. I like going back and watching older movies like this, man, 80s and 90s. I have a feel for them. Not that I don't like the one, even 2000s now are starting to get nostalgic for me. You know, now that it's been 20 years since the 2000s. Don't want to think about that. But like, you know. But yeah. And there's two different versions of the theme song, by the way. Or the theme song. The Jumpin' Jack Flash. The one that she plays on a cassette player is the original Rolling Stones, and there's another version at the end. I wish they would have just kept the Rolling Stones version, because I think it would fit better, really. This new version plays, and I'm like, no, I think it would fit better if you just use the original again. Sorry, nothing against recording artists, but I just feel like it would work better, because that's what they played it earlier. Why would you have a different version of the song if you had it? It'd be like if she was listening to a cover in the movie, and then they played the original at the end. I don't know. It makes more sense the first way around, but I just think it should have been the original both times. Don't need a cover. Not really necessary, no, is it? No. But I'm going to give Jumpin' Jack Flash pretty good. I enjoyed it. But yeah, after I finished it, I'm like, that is amazing. I didn't remember a damn thing about this movie. Not at all. Then she's on the computer, and I have a vague recollection of the ending. But other than that, this is like I was telling my friend Brandon, I don't. I don't think I've seen this movie since 10 or younger. And I think I've only watched it twice in my entire life. Now 3 times. It's not just something I'll put on again. Because it was fun going back to watch this. Yeah. So, what are your thoughts on Jumpin' Jack Flash? No comments, you should like, share, and subscribe. The next movie I'm going to do might change. Because the disc for the next movie I'm supposed to do, there's a crack in it. The Blu-ray player read the disc, but it doesn't mean that watching the movie it's going to go all the way through. If I can't do that, then I have to go to the next. If it happens where I can't finish that movie, I'm going to have to go on to the next movie after that. We'll see. Till then, thank you for watching. I'm Sky, and I'll see you in the next one.